Welcome to the New Heights Show on Education. I'm Pamela Clark, founder and director of the New Heights Educational Group, and I'm here with David Smith, the founder of Silicon Valley High School, who has helped us get these podcasts produced and delivered to you.
Yes, Pamela, when we saw the great things that you and your army of volunteers were achieving at New Heights, we wanted to get involved. We're happy to work with you to leverage the internet and make quality education accessible and affordable to everyone, everywhere.
Thank you, David. We appreciate Silicon Valley High School helping us to get these podcasts out to the hundreds of thousands of listeners from all over the world. So I hope you enjoy the show.
In this week's episode, we will discuss education reform on mission.
Hello, everyone. This is Danielle Washington coming to you live from Ms. Buffie Williams' office. We're just sitting around thinking about life and trying to become better people tonight, so check us out. Welcome back. You're on the air with Buffie Williams, and you have been listening to the New Heights Show on Education. We have been discussing the show's purpose on mission.
Good evening. This is your host, Buffie Williams, and you're listening to the New Heights Educational Group, the New Heights Show on Education. Tonight's topic is Black History Moment, K-12 Resource Magazine, Teaching Tolerance. A recap on last week, we discussed from libraries to learning commons, and we explored the growing trend of the changing traditions from libraries to a more collaborative environment called learning commons. But tonight we're going to explore a teaching resource, the Teaching Tolerance magazine. Let us hear your thoughts by calling us at 917-948-7542 or post your comments on Twitter at Buffy_Williams or on Spreaker. Remember to follow my New Heights host, my fellow New Heights radio host, Erica Hansen. Her show airs on Thursdays at 2 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I brought in a quote tonight. I don't have a quote for every show, but tonight I wanted to bring in, it's Black History Month, and I wanted our show to surround Black History moments, and I thought that the Teaching Tolerance magazine was a great opportunity for us to explore not only Black history, but the movement of teaching tolerance and diversity and inclusion that has been on the rise in our nation. It's interesting that we're still at this particular point in our history, but the quote I have tonight comes from the rapper Ludacris, and the quote reads, "Our communities are hurting. Our system needs fixing. We can't wait on the government, institutions, social programs, or policies to meet the needs of our community. It is in our hands." So, with that said, the Southern Poverty Law Center has developed the Teaching Tolerance magazine in an effort to assist educators in educating us in the community as well as in the classroom, tolerance and inclusion. The Teaching Tolerance is a project of the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is located in Montgomery, Alabama. And Black History Month is honoring the history of Black civic engagement. And I wonder sometimes if we think about our Black history in that way. That's the theme for the Southern Poverty Law Center and Teaching Tolerance for the month of February. Black History Month, honoring the history of Black civic engagement. And engagement requires action. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to read the quote from Ludacris. But their official theme is African Americans and the vote. And so again, civic engagement and the vote all centers around us being active participants in the education system and teaching our children what we feel is best for them moving forward. And I want to focus on the current issue of teaching tolerance, which is the spring 2020 issue 64. And I'm going to kind of go through it so that you can get a better understanding of what the Teaching Tolerance magazine is all about. And if you wanted to incorporate that within your classroom, or if you're incorporating it within your home study, if you are homeschooling, or if you just need it as an additional resource, if you're at a private school or a charter school. This particular issue is free to all educators, and you can go to tolerance.org in order to register as a teacher. And it is a free account at tolerance.org, and you can access professional development and classroom resources designed to give students a comprehensive education rooted in equity and social justice. In addition to that, you can watch professional development webinars anytime on demand. You can download classroom reading materials on diverse topics from extended text libraries. You can order or stream discussions that provoke with provoking films that accompany teaching study kits. And this is all at teaching at tolerance.org. And some of the new things that they have in the issue is teaching hard history resources for all age groups, and with actual classroom-ready videos for teachers. Also, they have Reading Together, a guide for families and educators, and they use the hashtag now, hashtag US versus hate, which is kind of a play on words on, how far have we really come in our education system when it comes to social justice and equity and equality and inclusion, for that matter. And also, there are professional development facilitators, guides, and podcasts at tolerance.org. And so if you're looking for a resource and a way to incorporate Black history or tolerance and inclusion and diversity within your classroom structure, this would be a free and a good resource for you to at least explore. And one of the other things is that they bring social justice to the classroom, and they also have film kits where one in particular, they have the Selma, the bridge from the bridge to the ballot. Let me read that accurately for you. Selma, the bridge to the ballot. It's a true story of students and teachers who fought to secure the voting rights of African Americans in the South. And this particular resource is for the grades 6 through 12. They also have a film kit surrounding the survivors of the Holocaust. And the title for that one is One Survivor Remembers. And that particular resource is also for grades 6 through 12. And they also have it where you can stream it online, and you can discuss difficult topics in a more meaningful way by utilizing these resources. They also have a film kit for A Time for Justice, which follows the civil rights movement from Emmett Till to the passing of the Voting Rights Act. And then another one that I thought was very interesting, it's called Bullied, a student and a school and a case made for history about anti-gay bullying, and it culminates with a message of hope. And they also have a documentary called An Outrage that addresses lynching in the American South. And these are all free to educators, and all the kits and the viewers guides can be ordered online through tolerance.org. So with the magazine, some of the structure of it is that they actually have from TT, are you engaging with your students to in registration for voter registration activities for the year? And if you wanted to incorporate something like that within your government classes, they also have resources that are free and available to you on the website. And it's really addressing the Future Voters Project. So some of the titles that they have in this particular issue, they have a young reader's editor's best-selling books on the front cover for this particular issue, but they also address in this issue the census, why lynch shaming still persists in America, teaching Americans interwoven history, and then they have a section that's called Let's Talk About It. And so what I love about the magazine is that, with any typical magazine, they're going to have different ways for you to access information. But I think they provide a plethora of information for the teacher to not necessarily go down a tunnel vision way of teaching history, but also gives ideas for teachers who may be struggling with actually how to incorporate tolerance and diversity in African American history or Black history within their classrooms. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about the Teaching Tolerance magazine, and it is a project of the Southern Poverty Law Center in Montgomery, Alabama. Black History Moment in K-12 Resource Magazine, Teaching Tolerance. And with that said, we're going to take a brief break and hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be back in a moment.
Right now, you might be struggling through your classes or even failing them. You might be worried that you may not finish high school. There might have even been a thought that you may not be smart enough. Well, the New Heights Educational Group begs to differ. We not only think you are smart enough, but with our help, you will complete your high school diploma. The New Heights Educational Group strives to improve your academic success through its tutoring services. To learn more, please visit newheightseducation.org and contact us. New Heights Educational Group, educational resources to help reach your goals.
This podcast is brought to you by Silicon Valley High School, the world's fastest growing, video-based, self-paced, teacher-supported, fully accredited online school that's recommended by more than 96% of students. Take individual courses at just $95 each, or earn your high school diploma at any age. Check us out at svhs.co.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Buffie Williams, and you're listening to the New Heights Educational Group, the New Heights Show on Education. And tonight's topic is Black History Moment in K-12 Resource Magazine, Teaching Tolerance. And the Teaching Tolerance magazine, if you're just joining us, is a project of the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is located in Montgomery, Alabama. And one of their themes for this month is Black History Month, honoring the history of Black civic engagement and African Americans and the vote. We're exploring the magazine and all of the things that it has as a resource for our teachers, educators, and parents and students alike. That is a free resource for educators, and they can go on tolerance.org. They present the issue 3 times a year. This is the spring 2020 issue 64. And within that particular issue, we're going through some of the things that are incorporated within it. And one of the other articles, or one of the other things that I want to let our teachers know out there, if they have a great idea for a project and they think that it's viable for them to use within the classroom, they can apply for a Teaching Tolerance Educators Grant at tolerance.org/grants. And I love that